Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here with something that's not necessarily new on my channel, but definitely different because this is the first episode of building with aim, and this is different than UCL. This is different than Subhub, simply because this is a more serious approach to building, where I take a Pokemon that I want to use, or a couple Pokemon I want to use, and I put them together. Now, this first team I wanted to build around Hoopa-Unbound, and this is a Hoopa-Unbound bulky offensive team. Now, before we actually get into the Pokemon, the sets, why I chose them, I want to say a few things that are kind of important that you need to know when you build. One, you cannot check everything. You cannot counter everything. That's something that you have to throw. If you have any thought like that, just throw it out the window, because there's no possible way you can check and counter everything. There are way too many Pokemon. There are way too many threats. You can tweak a move set. You can add a different Pokemon over a different Pokemon, or over a specific Pokemon. It could make the team more solid, but there's no way that you can match it perfectly against everything. And also, this is bulky offense, so it's not balance. Well, I guess you could call it balance, but I really don't want to call it balance. I prefer bulky offense just because it has a bunch of offensive Pokemon, and it's not really about pivoting as much, and doesn't really have that defensive backbone. I don't know, I guess you can call it balance, but this is definitely bulky offense to me. So it's not stall. I don't have a switching for everything. Offense isn't supposed to have a switching for everything, especially hyper offense. This isn't hyper offense. I don't consider it hyper offense. Again, I consider it bulky offense because I have some alternatives. As you can see, I'm not running Bisharp, Stealth Rocker, Keldeo, Lati, things like that, Talonflame. I'm running a more bulkier variant, obviously, which is why it's bulky offense. But yeah, like I said, I'm running offense, so I don't have an answer for everything. I know that there are Pokemon that I'll be weak to, and there are always going to be Pokemon that you're weak to. But as long as you have at least one way of dealing with them, you can definitely outplay something. So that's something that you need to know or need to learn when you're using, especially offense. Offense, you have to outplay people. Otherwise, you'll straight up lose to a Pokemon you're weak to. Of course, though, you can pressure them with your offensive pressure, because you are offense, and that'll help you get rid of them, or get rid of threats. But yeah, like I said, I wanted to build around Hoopa. Now, Hoopa is a Pokemon that is very, very good versus balanced teams, versus slower teams, versus stall teams, simply because it is a powerful hitter. It hits hard as hell on the special and on the physical side, has an amazing move pool. Dark Stab is great right now. It has access to Gunk Shot for fairies. It has Knock Off, one of the best moves in the game. It has, again, great offensive typing, and its speed stat is actually not that bad for more bulkier teams. For balance usually consisting of like defensive Chomp, defensive Landorus, Feral Thorn Hippo, Torn T, stuff like that, Lati. All of those are torn apart. They cannot switch into Hoopa. And then, of course, Stall is just ripped apart by Hoopa. Stall's way of answering Hoopa is trapping it with Gothitelle and either having Signal Beam or tricking it. Scarf, because basically, other than that, Stall does not appreciate Hoopa at all. Now, knowing that offense is basically the best way of dealing with Hoopa, I wanted to pair it with Talonflame. Now, of course, I'm just giving you my thoughts when starting this build at all. Of course, you can see the final, well, not the final, but you can see what I made, and of course, that's always, I can change it, and you're, of course, able to change it if you want to. The pastebin will be in the description to this team, but of course, I'm just going over why I built it. But Talonflame is the Pokemon I wanted to pair with Hoopa, so I wanted to build around Talonflame and Hoopa simply because Talonflame is a Pokemon that offense hates. Offense hates Talonflame. Standard offense is what? Bisharp, Keldeo, Lati, maybe Rocky Helmet, Garchomp, which is like offense's main way of dealing with Talonflame, as well as Bisharp, as well as Lopunny, as well as Metagross, as well as Landorus. So basically, offense is overpowered by Talonflame, and Hoopa sucks versus offense. The reason Hoopa sucks versus offense is because it cannot switch in everything. Because of its piss poor defenses, and even though its stat isn't that bad, it's not very good versus offense, especially because what it does outspeed knocks it out with Sucker Punch, mainly Bisharp, and everything else hits it hard as hell. I wanted to pair with Talonflame just because they pair really well together. Hoopa can get rid of the Pokemon that Talonflame doesn't like, the fatter Pokemon, because Hoopa breaks balance and stall, and then Talonflame can get rid of all all the stuff that Hoopa doesn't like, as well as clean up when Hoopa gets rid of all of Talonflame's checks and counters. I'm talking about Heatran, I'm talking about Hoopa-Unbound, I'm talking about just bulky Pokemon in general that can stop Talonflame. So the way I built this team was around Hoopa and Talonflame. It is a bulky offensive team, and let's get right into the first set. So the first Pokemon I have on this team, like I said, I wanted to build it around Hoopa. Now, knowing that I would be using Talonflame in this set, oh, by the way, shout outs to my boy Ray, who basically revamped something that I did back in XY, early XY, that my boy Eon Blitz helped me with, and he basically helped me revamp it. Also, Chimpback helped me out, so thank you, buddy. I very much appreciate it. And yeah, this is the way I'll be doing my team building from now on. I'll have the PO thing already shown, as well as the what you see on the screen right now, which I think is really cool. But like I said, I wanted to build around Hoopa. Now, keeping in mind that I paired Hoopa with, sorry by the way if you hear, my mic is still pretty bad right now. I ordered a new one, so it's coming in. So sorry if you hear anything that just sounds crappy. But knowing that I wanted to pair Hoopa with Talonflame to basically get rid of Talonflame's checks and also help Hoopa have an easier time, I really wanted to run a special-oriented Hoopa. The reason being is Hoopa has access to Grass Knot, which can OHKO any variant of Hoopa-Unbound, even the standard specially defensive set, or the standard Hoopa-Unbound, which isn't necessarily special defensive but does have special defense, is OHKO'd by this Hoopa set. I wanted to run HP Ice because one of the offense's main ways of stopping Talonflame, and one of its only ways really, besides bombarding it with priority, which even then Talonflame can get past just because of its own priority, its roost and stuff like that, is Rocky Helmet Chomp. Now, standard Rocky Helmet Chomp does not run that much speed. They usually outspeed Jolly Bisharp. Sometimes. They don't even always do that. Sometimes they outspeed Jolly T-Tar, which is only running about 244 speed, 245 speed, hitting around there. But I wanted to pair Hoopa with it just because I wanted to use this Hoopa set just because it's getting rid of all the stuff that stops Talonflame. HP Ice knocks out standard Tank Chomp, which runs 76 Spadef investment. That way HP Ice from Raikou and Mega Manectric do not take it out. With a Life Orb, of course, boosting that. This is 100% OHKO on the standard Tank Chomp. Grass Knot, like I said, gets rid of Hoopa-Unbound, and I ran Dark Pulse on it because it is one of the most spammable moves. Dark is the most spammable move, or the most spammable type, I feel, in the game right now, especially with all the changes to typing and all that stuff, and how Steel doesn't resist Dark and things like that. So this Dark Pulse is actually so strong that it 2-hit KOs Bisharp. That by itself, that's it. 2-hit KOs Bisharp with Life Orb Dark Pulse. And the reason I wanted to run Knockoff, although I have Slash Gunk Shot, as you guys can see, is because Knockoff plus Dark Pulse gets rid of Spadef Tran, which is another stop to Talonflame. And by stop, I mean it toxics it and protect stalls it. That's about it. But Knockoff plus Dark Pulse can get rid of Heatran 100% after rocks, sometimes before rocks. And I ran max speed just because I didn't want to speed tie. I mean, at best I wanted to speed tie with other Hoopas. Like I said, Gunk Shot is also viable on this set simply because it deals with Azu and it deals with Clefable, both of which can be annoying for this team. They're annoying for offense in general, though Azumarill being slower and Clefable being, you know, slower as well is still good for offense. But you can switch between Knockoff and Gunk Shot, and yeah, so like I said, this Hoopa set is mainly to not only break balance and break stall, because Dark Pulse plus Knockoff basically wrecks Chansey's for the rest of the team. So once Chansey is knocked off, loses to Violite, everything on the team can like to KO it. And then Grass Knot for Quagsire. Dark Pulse does so much. Again, you can run Gunk Shot if you want to. HP Ice for Garchomp and Landorus T, both of which can check Talonflame. You want to be careful about, you know, Scarf Landorus. But the defensive standard set is OHKO'd by this HP Ice. Same thing with Garchomp. And again, you can run either Naive or Hasty. It doesn't really matter. I tend to run Hasty Hoopa, just because it has piss poor defenses anyway, so I'm not really living a physical hit. But Naive is also fine just because it can still abuse its special defensive stat. Even with a Naive nature, it's still 266 special defense, so that's not so bad. It can still tank certain hits. But yeah, the next Pokemon, of course, is Talonflame. Like I said, I wanted to pair Hoopa with Talonflame simply because Hoopa gets rid of what Talonflame is scared of. And Talonflame, of course, checks offense, which Hoopa is deathly afraid of. But the set I ended up running, and there's two sets you could run. You could run the set I ran, or you could run the offensive Jolly Sharp Beak set. But the set I ended up running was the Mono Brave Bird attacking set with Swords Dance, Brave Bird, Roost, and Will-O-Wisp. Now, this set helps me deal with Clefable better. As you can see, I have 240 HP investment and 252 attack, so I can basically set up on Clefable. Standard Clefable only runs Moonblast and Flamethrower as their offensive stats. Of course, there are those Clefables that can change it up a bit and run Thunderbolt, can run Bolt Beam, can run HP Ground and stuff like that. And of course, if I see that, I'll play around it. I want to stress that because I'm running bulky offense, I have to play around threats. I mean, it's Pokemon. So I'm not always going to have a comfortable switch for something. I have to play around, or I have to play or pressure my opponent enough that they can't bring in threats. But this also deals with Scizor because I can burn it with Will-O-Wisp. Now, you can, of course, switch up Will-O-Wisp for Taunt. You can switch it up for Flare Blitz. Again, you could switch up the entire set to an SD Jolly Sharp Beach set. But because after I built the team, Clefable was a bit of an issue for me, I wanted to I wanted to give it this bulkier set and just SD up. The speed is enough just to outspeed Kyurem Black, and actually 4 more HP than the standard spread, just in case there's also Talonflame like this that you're facing. You can potentially outspeed them. SD, Brave Bird, Roost, and Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp, of course, stopping Bisharp. Also being able to stop its own checks like Hoopa-Unbound and Garchomp, just with the burn, obviously weakening them. Don't really want to touch them still. Probably wouldn't even stay in versus Hippo unless it's confirmed that it doesn't have Stone Edge, because then I can SD up on it, or just wait until Whirl Wind Z out. But yeah, this is also the, like I said, the offense check. SDing up and, you know, just sweeping teams. It's Talonflame. There's not really much to say about that. And like I said also about Hoopa, it weakens all the Pokemon that Talonflame doesn't like. Even Rotom is easily to a KO by that Dark Pulse. So, this is why I have Talonflame. It checks Clefable, checks Scizor, checks Bisharp, even without a fire move, even with only having Will-O-Wisp. The next member on the team also checks Bisharp relatively well, if not perfectly. Okay, not perfectly, but it's one of the best Bisharp checks on, I'm sorry about you guys hearing my landline, by the way. I don't know why we have that. But, again, it's one of the best Bisharp checks, and that's the next Pokemon that we'll be going to. But, yeah, again, you can change this up. You can run Flare Blitz, you can run Taunt. Taunt helps you, Taunt helps you not be leech seeded by Ferrothorn, and of course stopping phasers, and it's also a good Starbreaker in itself. Also wanted this because Zard Y is an issue, and having max HP lets me take the hit a little bit better. Of course, if it's Earthquake Zard Y, yes, that is a set people can run. Be a little bit worse for me, but Fire Blast still is like, what, 60%? But I can Roost-Stall it out, and Flamethrower I can Roost-Stall out easily. Now, the next member of my team is Rocky Helmet Chomp. Now, because I am running bulky offense, and because I am running Hoopa, and there are a lot of threats to these Pokemon, such as Lopunny, such as Bisharp, Talonflame of their own. I'm running bulky offense, so of course I have a hard time dealing with Talonflame as well. And I didn't want to run Landorus T because giving Intimidate boosts Bisharp's attack because of Defiant. So I decided to run the standard Tank Chomp set with 248 HP, 164 defense. I'm not 2 KO'd. I am 2 KO'd by +2 Sucker Punch, meaning I can take 1 +2 Sucker Punch from Bisharp. I do outspeed Adamant Bisharp, Adamant Breloom, Jolly T-Tar, and also I have the Spadef investment. That way I'm not knocked out by Manectric or Raiku's HP Ice. Now the spread I'm running, or the set I'm running, is Stealth Rock, Dragon Tail, Earthquake, and Fire Blast. Fire Blast helping me check Scizor, helping me do a bit of damage to Skarmory as well as Ferrothorn, just weakening them, mainly just because Scizor could be an issue and I needed Fire Blast. This is one of the go-to checks for Scizor as well, and Fire Blast of course annihilates it. Even with an Impish nature, which is minus special attack, I still have it still does, it's going to do a KO regardless. Unless I was running like near max special attack, I wasn't knocking out Mega Scizor anyway, so that's why I have Fire Blast as well as the Imp in Nature. Obviously, Rocky Helmet helping me out versus all the physical attackers. They're taking a crap load whenever they touch me. And Garchomp, just the all-around bird check. The Garchomp is offense's like glue, honestly. It's the thing that helps you deal with so many Pokemon and just, you know, get them off your back. Now, next Pokemon on my team is actually Klefki. I was inspired to do this definitely by Jamvad's recent team building video. If you guys don't know who Jamvad is, you're living under a rock. No, I'm just kidding. But Jamvad is a friend of mine. He's a very, very good player, very good team builder, and he's also one of the people that inspired me to to, you know, take team building seriously. For me, the part that I enjoy about Pokemon is playing, not the team building. Team building is fun when I do it with friends, but by myself, I don't like it as much. It's just not as fun. I love counter teaming. I love building with friends and call. It's really fun. But for myself, I don't like it as much. It's just not as enjoyable for me as honestly any other part of the game is. But I decided, you know, to take it more seriously, and I was inspired by Jambad's recent video to do this. And I actually took his Klefki set, which is Spikes, Thunder Wave, Heal Block, and Flash Cannon. Now, I needed a Weavile check. I needed a Dragon check. I needed just Thunder Wave in general, because Zard X is an issue for offense as well. It usually overpowers offense. Offense generally deals with it by having either Thundurus or you know, priority Thunder Wave, or maybe a Landorus on it, but even then Landorus is overpowered and Thundurus can easily be worn down. Oh, by the way, like I said, because I am running offense, I am 100% going to be weak to opposing Talonflame. Thundurus is going to be an issue no matter what. Thundurus is always an issue for offense, and DNC can also be an issue for offense. Those are all issues for offense that I'll just have to outplay. But yeah, because I am running this set, it allows me to take on dragons no matter what. I could even run some Spadef on this if I honestly wanted to. I mean, some physical defense on this if you honestly wanted to. But I'm running Prankster. Prankster T-Wave helps me stop Stardex. That way the majority of my team can knock it out afterwards. Spike stacking and Heal Block plus Flash Cannon actually allows you to do a number to Clefable. This is my go-to Clefable switch-in besides Talonflame if rocks are up. Again, I have a few ways of dealing with Clefable. I can run Gunk Shot on my Hoopa, or I can just go directly into Talonflame and just SD up on it and set up alongside it. Like I said, Clefable can't generally touch me, but this is also one of my ways. I have Flash Cannon plus Heal Block just to wear down Clefable, preventing it from healing up with Soft Boiled. This also is nice versus Stall, because if they switch into the Quagsire as I spike up, assuming I got rid of Mecha Sableye, a Pokemon like that, I can Heal Block, you know, after they take all that damage, assuming they take hazard damage or any damage from any one of my attackers, and this prevents them from healing up. So, the next Pokemon on my team, Klefki basically being there to stop Dragon types, to stop Weavile, and you know, be able to give me a switch in for Weavile. Granted, it knocking off my leftover sucks because I don't have any form of recovery, but that's why I actually added the next member. Now, Latios is the next member on my team. One of my favorite Pokemon, or one of my favorite Pokemon to use. Not really one of my favorite Pokemon, but definitely one of my favorite Pokemon to use. I love dropping Dracos. You guys already know that. But originally I had Life Orb 3 attack Roost Latios with HP Fire, but I realized if my Weavile check and my Bisharp check are going to be Pokemon that are going to get knocked off, are not going to have any forms of recovery, I definitely wanted Healing Wish. So I decided to bring Life Orb offensive Latios. That's why I put it on the team. Latios, of course, giving me that Keldeo check, giving me that Thundurus check. Gotta watch out for knockoff plus HP Ice on the switching though. Otherwise, I am good. This also just giving me that Mega Manectric check. It bluffs the Defog. I don't have Defog on this one because I wanted Draco Meteor to just hit hard as hell. And then, of course, Side Shock to dealing with Keldeo more accurately, and just fighting types in general. I wanted Roost just because this was my main Keldeo switching, so I wanted Longevity over Defog. And then my last option, or my last move set, was Healing Wish. Now, like I said before, because my Pokemon are going to be knocked off, that's why I really wanted to bring Healing Wish. I wanted to be able to basically bring back a Pokemon, give it a second chance. Draco, of course, isn't also always the most accurate move, so if I have an option over it, I can Healing Wish up to another Pokemon and go for that. Again, Latios just not being too KO'd by Thundurus. It's also my Zard Y check, Zard Y being a pain for offense. Talonflame is a check to it, but if rocks are up, not really. And one more thing I wanted to state, well, actually I'll state it after. But yeah, that's basically why I had Lottie. Again, it's because my Bisharp, my Lopunny, my Mega Metagross, one of the main checks for all of those is Garchomp, which is easily worn down. At the same time, though, it does wear down my opponent. I needed Healing Wish, I needed the support, and the spread is just enough HP that way. I can take 2 HP Ices from Thundurus. I am not too KO'd by Mega Manectric after Stealth Rock. if I'm not mistaken, and of course max speed just to speed tie other Latios and, you know, drop Dracos on them. But the last member of my team, I wanted to be a bit different, and this is something I was hinting towards after, or what I just said basically. I don't know why I said after, but what I just said was that what's the point of team building if you're going to use the same Pokemon that everybody else uses all the time? There's no, if I wanted to do that, there's no even point of this, me making this video. Even if I'm just explaining it to you guys, there's no point of me making this video if I'm using the same Pokemon that everybody else is using. If I'm going to team build, I'm going to team build differently. I'm going to use some Pokemon that I want to use, and that's why the last member on my team, it's not a Starmie, it's not an Excadrill for Rabbit Spin, it is a Mega Blastoise. Now, I wanted to use Mega Blastoise because, one, I wanted spin on the team. I needed spin. If I wasn't running Defog on Lati, I needed spin. Of course, you can always change the sets. The pace spin is down below. You can change them. I haven't even used the team yet. I'm going to be using the team in a live that will be going up tomorrow after this. And the reason I'm not recording the live with it is because I have some other stuff planned for today that are going up. So, yeah, the live will be there tomorrow. You guys will see that if you choose to. But I want a Mega Blastoise. Mega Blastoise is really bulky. It has spin. It has Mega Launcher, so it hits hard as hell with its Aura Sphere, Dragon Pulse, Dark Pulse. All of those moves are boosted. Now, the set I ended up running was enough speed. That way I outspeed defensive Rotom as well as defensive Landers. I can OHKO defensive Landers with Hydro Pump, or I can hit it hard with Scald. I'm pretty sure a 405 special attack Scald will knock out defensive Landers, if not do like 99%. But yeah, Hydro Pump / Scald is the first slot. You can change it up depending on you want to. I know that people love Scald. Scald is, again, one of the other best moves in the game besides Knockoff, and it's just a spammable move, and it's a no drawback move, honestly. Oh yeah, I can't kill them, but I'll get a burn on them anyway. I opted for max special attack because I wanted to hit hard as hell. I actually calced some stuff, and the reason I have Dragon Pulse over Dark Pulse is because when I have Hoopa on the team to spam those dark moves, and the majority of my team can basically hit hard whatever I would have hit hard with the Dark Pulse. And I want a Dragon Pulse because if I Thunder Wave Zard X, I don't want to 100% have to go out to my Lati and drop a Draco on it in order to deal with it. Max Special Attack Dragon Pulse knocks out Zard X. Max HP Zard X takes 99% minimum, so it's a good, it's really in my favor that I can knock it out. And if it's knocking out Klefki, it's gonna have to attack me. Honestly, it's going to be taking that recoil from Flare Blitz, but that's why I had Blastoise. It's a really good spinner. Granted, Dark Pulse is needed if I feel like I'm going to be spin blocked, but because the only spin blocker currently besides Sableye is Gengar, that's not what I can think of at the top of my head, honestly. Let me actually look at the Pokemon list while I'm doing this, just so I mean, those are the only two ghost types that I can think of at the top of my head. I know there are other ones, obviously there's Jellicent and all those Pokemon, but those aren't as common. And yeah, right now the only two spin blockers that are common in OU are Gengar and Sableye. So I'm usually going to be able to get off the spin, and Dark Pulse doesn't matter because Hydro Pump would knock out Gengar anyway. The HP investment I have is so I am not KO'd by +2 Life Orb, Bisharp's Jolly Swords Dance, so that gives me a secondary check. Aura Sphere, of course, hurts Feral Thorn. It's it weakens it 2 KOs Rotom after Stealth Rock, and I do outspeed Rotom. And of course, I told you I had Dragon Pulse. It also knocks out, you know, the Latios as well. This thing hits hard as hell. It was definitely a Pokemon that I wanted to use. Now, like I said, there's no perfect team. This team definitely has flaws, and I will see them and change them as I play. I already know I'm weak to Azu. What is my Azu switching? I mean, I'm running offense, so the only Azu switchings on offense are usually like Mega Scizor or nothing. That's usually it. I guess if you want to run Rotom on offense, but there's not usually any switching for Azu anyway, but I can definitely deal with it. I have recoil damage. I have Hoopa to smack it hard if I have Gunk Shot. Even Grass Knot does a nice amount of damage, a hefty chunk. Talonflame, of course, revenge kills right after it takes any of, right after it touches Garchomp. It goes down to Brave Bird from Talonflame. Of course, I have Spikes. I have Lati to revenge kill a Belly Drum, a Azumarill. Garchomp isn't knocked out by +6 Aqua Jet, and of course, Talonflame does outspeed and can Brave Bird. Diancie is a Pokemon I definitely have to play around. If I see a Diancie, I'm either leading off with Blastoise or Klefki, and that's about it. Those are the best leads possible versus a DNC team. Of course, just forcing the Mega Evolution and forcing DNC out. And besides that, I don't think I really have much to say. Obviously, Thundurus is a problem. It is an issue, but Thundurus is always an issue for offense. I could change it around. I could have ran Mega Manectric over Blastoise and gave Lottie Defog, or even ran Celebi with Healing Wish, like my boy MV actually suggested, because I made this team and then I, went over it. I want to see my friends what their input was, just because it's, it's better like that. But again, there's a lot of changes you can make. Don't take my word for anything. Obviously, test it out yourself. The link to the pastebin will be down below in the description. And of course, if you guys enjoy this type of video, let me know by leaving a like. It definitely shows that you guys enjoy these types of videos. They're a bit more serious. They are a bit more, I guess, hardcore, you could say. But at the same time, I'm not using, I have a Blastoise. I have a Mega Blastoise over what could be a Mega anything, honestly. And of course, I could have changed it around a bit, but these are the Pokemon that I want to use, and I gave you the reasons why I used them. Again, there are definitely some threats in OU that I need to play around, and I will be, as you guys will see in tomorrow's live. So again, guys, feel free to subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know if you guys want to see more of this. I definitely will be. It was really fun to do. Yeah, it was really fun to do. I'm saying it before I actually edit in the stuff into Premiere, but it was really fun to actually edit in the stuff on Photoshop that you guys were seeing before. And yeah, feel free to leave. You can leave some suggestions, but I don't know. I don't really want the comments to be spammed with can you do another one on X plus X mod, because I don't want like 400 comments saying that. I don't mind that. I mean, I'll read them obviously and I'll take them into account, but I would really love your feedback. I want to know what you guys want to see. Of course, I guess that kind of just cancels out what I just said. And let me know if you guys want to see more guides like this. I do plan on doing a series with my boy Hugo, and that series will be aimed more towards competitive players, competitive guides, because me and Hugo and I, we have a lot of competitive knowledge that we feel we can share, not only on just building a specific team, but specific builds, like what makes a team hyper offense, what makes a team stalled, what are the threats to look out for, and just a bunch of stuff like that. And let me know if you guys want to see that. But of course, subscribe if you want to see more. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later in the video later today. That is, what is the video later today? I don't even remember. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. So, bye.